So, Trailer 3 didn't release this week, and honestly, I think that might actually make next Tuesday even more likely. I know everybody's saying that. If there's one thing that Rockstar loves doing, it's letting anticipation build right to the breaking point before they finally drop something. I've had some insanely amazing comments over the last couple of months, and they genuinely got me thinking about what GTA 6 might actually be trying to do. Some of these theories that you guys are leaving in the comments section are better than some of the written gaming articles at this point, and some of them are even better than even ideas I'd thought of, so I really appreciate it. But let's start with the trailer. A lot of people, including me, thought they were going to see something on Tuesday the 12th. Now that we haven't, the timing starts to narrow down as each week goes by. And because Rockstar usually uses Tuesdays for major announcements and reveals, Trailer 2 released on a Tuesday, a lot of their screenshots and marketing beats happen on a Tuesday. I think everyone knows it's going to be a Tuesday. And when you think about it, next Tuesday, which will be Tuesday the 19th, feels like the perfect point for them to strike. There's enough silence now for hype to build naturally. People are checking social media every day. Everyone's speculating. And Rockstar knows exactly how to weaponize silence better than almost any other company in gaming. That's why I feel like last week would have been too obvious. Rockstar loves controlling the conversation. They like making people doubt themselves first, and then suddenly, boom, new trailer. And if we do get Trailer 3, I think it's going to focus much more on the world and story rather than just kind of flashy action. Because the deeper we get into GTA 6, the more it feels like Rockstar's building something way darker and more layered than anything that's come before. Speaking of which, I got this absolutely massive comment from Mr. Mediman. First off, I seriously appreciate the effort you put into this because it genuinely feels like a full analysis post that you've put here. And also, you recommended the film The Florida Project to me, and I watched it after reading your comment. It blew my mind. It was so amazing. If no one's seen it, I highly recommend it. Like, genuinely one of the best recommendations I've had in a long time. What really stood out for me from your comment was the idea that every GTA game almost reflects the era either right before or just after a massive cultural shift. And when you think about it, that's clearly true. GTA 3 came out just after 9/11. In fact, they had to take out planes in the game because of 9/11. GTA 4 came out before the financial crash. GTA 5 released right as social media and online culture completely exploded. And now GTA 6 feels like it's arriving during this really strange era where people trust institutions less. Politics are more extreme. Corporations feel more powerful than ever. And everyone's constantly online all the time. And Rockstar absolutely sees that. And what I found really interesting was the comparison that Mr. Mediman made between Vice City and Port Gellhorn. That contrast between the glamorous tourism version of Florida and then the darker reality underneath it. Because that's exactly what the film The Florida Project captures so well. You've got this big massive tourist draw, which is obviously Disneyland, but right beside it and all around it, you've got this poverty, this crime, this addiction, this desperation. That feels very Rockstar. Especially with Port Gellhorn, because Rockstar keeps hiding that area from us for a reason. I genuinely think that area could become one of the more darker locations Rockstar's ever made. You also mentioned in your comment about Ambrosia, that's where your theory started sounding really believable to me. The idea of corporations influencing policies, using biker gangs to intimidate people, manipulating entire towns for profit. That feels like a modern Rockstar storyline, and I completely agree with you about the cop character from the trailer. We see this cop character all the time throughout the trailer. I agree with you that I don't think he's going to be like the final villain. I think he's just a piece of something much bigger, because Rockstar already kind of did the corrupt cop antagonist with Officer Tenpenny in San Andreas. I don't think they're trying to repeat that. This feels more like a system, a network of politicians, corporations, police and criminal groups all connected together, and Jason and Lucia slowly getting caught in the middle of it. Honestly, the more I think about it, the more I think GTA 6 could end up having Rockstar's darkest story yet. The next comment I want to highlight is from Prestigious Com Man. This one's really interesting because they're basically asking, how deep does GTA 6 go mechanically? Like, how immersive is this thing really going to be? I think this is the biggest question surrounding the game right now, because Rockstar's worlds feel alive, but GTA 6 might push things even further. Prestigious Conman brought up in his comment this idea of systems naturally connecting together. Like, for example, maybe you're playing a game of basketball, someone gets angry because they're losing, a fight breaks out and police get involved, and suddenly this random little side activity becomes a whole dynamic situation. That's probably the dream scenario for a lot of people, but I also think we need to balance expectations slightly, me included, because Rockstar usually focuses on creating the illusion of complete freedom, rather than making fully unscripted systems. Even Red Dead Redemption 2, the greatest game ever made as far as I'm concerned until GTA 6 comes out, it still had limits. The combat could feel restrictive at times, certain interactions only went so far, and I think Rockstar prefers that because they care a lot about cinematic presentation and pacing, but I absolutely think GTA 6 is going to push those systems further than ever before. NPC reactions are going to be much more dynamic, random events are going to chain together more naturally, and I think the line between gameplay systems is going to feel way more seamless. That's probably where those 6,000 employees really come into play for Rockstar, not just making the map bigger, but making the world react in more believable ways. It might end up being more important than having thousands of enterable buildings or crazy unrealistic features. If Rockstar can make the world feel unpredictable, that enhances everything. The next comment is from Derek Phillips 894, and this theory I've seen loads of people discussing recently, even myself, and that's prison gameplay. I think there's actually a decent chance that Rockstar expands the jail system in GTA 6, especially with Lucia literally potentially starting the game inside prison. That already tells us that incarceration's important to the story somehow. Now, do I think we're getting a full prison simulator? Probably not. I don't think Rockstar wants people spending hours locked inside a prison every time they get arrested, but the idea of having optional prison interactions, mini games, activities, small story events, that sounds very possible to me. The line that you mentioned from the trailer where it says, "Have I seen you before?" that line's always stood out to me as well, because it feels intentional. It feels like Jason might already have history with law enforcement, or maybe prison and arrest systems are much more persistent this time. The more Rockstar pushes realism, the harder it becomes for them to just instantly reset everything every time you get busted. So I really do think jail and prison mechanics could be more advanced this time around, if not fully explorable. And the final comment I want to shout out is from the Veiled Collective. I absolutely love the idea that you're talking about here, the concept of seeing NPCs living inside buildings, looking through windows at night and seeing silhouettes moving around, or people closing their curtains or turning their lights off. That kind of stuff sounds small, but it completely changes how believable a world feels, because in real life, cities feel even more alive when you're not interacting with people directly. You just feel like life's happening around you constantly. Rockstar is one of the few developers that's obsessive enough to care about details like that. Now, obviously there are technical limitations. It can't fully simulate millions of NPCs' lives, at least not realistically, but I do think GTA 6 is going to push environmental immersion way further than any previous game, especially in dense urban areas. Even if only some of the apartment buildings have little kind of details of people inside them, it would massively improve the atmosphere, and it creates the feeling that the world exists beyond the player, and that's always been Rockstar's biggest strength. And if Rockstar really is building the kind of world that I've been talking about today, this game is just going to be so more ambitious than people realise. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody whose comments I featured in this video today. I seriously read everybody's comments, and I do try to reply to every single one. Some of you guys are coming up with some theories that genuinely make me rethink the game completely. So yeah, let me know if you've got any more theories below, and hopefully the next time I'm talking, we'll all be breaking down Trailer 3. Thanks again, subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you in the next one.